মিটার চেঞ্জ হয়েছে? মিটার সেমই আছে, কিন্তু মিটারে এখন নতুন ফাংশন আছে। গাড়িতে যদি কিছু প্রবলেম দেখায় তাহলে এখানে দেখা ক্লিন করবে এরর, তার মানে তোর সিস্টেমে কোনো কিছু
equipment and kit that it brings along, which makes this bike a killer deal for the price it demands. Now, barring the comfort factor, it outsmarts almost all the contenders in its segment like the R3, the Ninja 300 etc. that cost nearly twice as much. Now, what makes the RC special is the kind of heart-pounding power, the blistering acceleration, superb equipment along with ABS, slipper clutch etc. and the precise track riding ergonomics and aerodynamics that it offers to comprehensively launch you into the supersport culture. Now, just when we thought as to what else KTM might possibly do to make this firecracker of a proposition even better, well, they always do manage to surprise us, don't they? Because for the year 2017, they've given this track monster almost everything they've got, that too at a very meager price increment. So without wasting any more time, let's dive straight into this review and find out what's new with this bike. First up, obviously we have the visually apparent new paint scheme and body graphics. Trust me, this new paint scheme will turn a lot more heads now on the road because of the glossy finish given to the tank panels and the more striking body graphics that this bike gets. Now, the black and white and orange bits are perfectly blended to give it the ideal modern supersport bike kind of a look without messing around with its already successful design silhouette. Secondly, technically the most desired upon change that this new RC gets is the ride-by-wire function. Now, the ride-by-wire or throttle-by-wire technology as it is otherwise known, how this actually works is that in the conventional setup, the butterfly throttle valve is directly controlled by the throttle inputs and hence under harsh acceleration, when the rider suddenly rings the throttle hard, the large flow of air in the combustion chamber causes the bike to stall momentarily, whereas in case of having ride-by-wire technology on board, the twisting of throttle by the rider causes the throttle cable to actuate a transponder connected to it. Now this transponder converts the throttle movement into electrical signals which are sent to the ECU, and based on the throttle input signal, the ECU actuates the fuel injector to deliver optimum fuel input to the cylinder. Now I know that's way too much technical stuff that I just blurted out. So to put it across more simply in layman terms, the benefits that ride-by-wire system offers is smoother acceleration, better fuel economy, and better fueling with precise air-fuel mixture. Now this technology working along with ABS would offer better control over the motorcycle under various riding terrains and conditions as well. Also, with the emission norms becoming stricter by the day, ride-by-wire plays a key role in meeting those stringent norms without having to compromise on the performance. Now, this system also allows manufacturers to add in various riding modes, traction control modes, etc. on the bike. Currently, we don't get any riding modes as standard with this bike, and I'm unsure whether any aftermarket traction control system etc. can be added on to this bike, so it's better to consult the KTM technical team before trying anything of that sort. Now further aiding this are also new features like EVAP and CAN bus systems. The EVAP or evaporative emission system is supposed to prevent loss of vaporized fuel. The controller area network or CAN bus is a specialized internal communications network that interconnects the components of the bike. This reduces the wiring inside and allows various features to be implemented using software alone, thereby making things less complex and more cost efficient. Thirdly, we have the side-mounted exhaust, which helps the bike get a more bass-heavy and racy exhaust note. Now, this has been added to help the bike comply with the Euro 4 emission norms. Also, this solves the problem of the belly pan scraping when you increase the lean angle while cornering. Fourthly, we now get a huge 320mm front disc as opposed to the 300mm one found on the preceding model. The rear disc remains the same though at 230mm. Now this is supposed to offer a more reassuring feel with a better initial bite and better feedback when it comes to braking overall. Next, we also get adjustable levers for the clutch as well as the brake. Now this means you can adjust the setting as you deem fit for the range of clutch pull or brake pull, and you don't need to struggle to reach for them if your fingers are smaller. Next, the pillion seat now gets 12mm of extra padding. Also, the rider seat now feels thicker than prior, so that would add to the comfort. Next, we get all new rear view mirrors on this new model that are now supposed to offer a wider field of vision, which is good. Next, we also see this protective cover here for the rear monoshock. It's now almost completely shielded from the dirt that the rear wheel may throw at it. Next, though we thankfully continue to get the same Metzeler tires, they now come with a lower speed rating. The speed rating now is H, and for those who aren't aware, the speed rating pretty much determines the top speed the tire is capable of maintaining. And finally, though the Speedo gets the same layout, it now tells us to turn on the kill switch once we turn the ignition on. It also tells us the real-time fuel economy now. Also, just like the 2016 model, this bike comes with AHO or always headlamp on function, and there is no light switch given. We can, however, switch between high beam and low beam with the control switch. Well, that's it for the changes. The preceding model already had the slipper clutch in place, so that is carried forward as it is. For those who aren't aware, slipper clutch aids in faster downshifts without running the risk of locking up the rear wheel. It also provides for a lighter clutch feel. Now next, talking about the engine specs, sadly the power plant remains the same. We get the same 4-stroke, 4-valve, liquid-cooled, fuel-injected, single-cylinder 373.3cc engine that puts out a max power of 43.5 PS at 9000 RPM and a max torque of 36 Nm at 7000 RPM. Now this comes mated to a super slick 6-speed gearbox. Now I'll be sharing my test ride experience of this bike as well as the new RC200 as soon as the test ride bikes arrive here. As of now, we gotta keep ourselves satisfied with the first look video. Now talking about other relevant specs, ground clearance now is 178.5 mm, which is more than sufficient.
Everyone is a contender, but there can only be one champion, one legend, one legacy, one untamable beast. KTM, India's fastest growing motorcycle brand.